Morning. It's a beautiful day out here today, and I thought today I would show you, sadly, inside my craft room, which is not quite so beautiful in there, but I thought I would show you how to do a magic slider card. So let's stop me and let's go and do it. Okay, so here is the magic slider card that I had made up already. So as you can see, you don't get to see what's underneath it until you pull it out. So that's why it's called a magic slider card, because the magic happens when you pull it out. There we go. Okay, so to make this card, I have used a piece of A4 cut in half. So you've just got half of the A4. Now, when you fold this into 3, it actually scores at 9.9 centimetres. And then it will fold into 3, and that becomes the base of your card like that. Then you will also need a piece of acetate. So I'm using the specialty one, which is called, wait for it, Gold Celebration Specialty Designer Series. Don't know why it's called paper, but apparently it is. Personally, I wouldn't have called it paper, but you know, that's not me that names it. So these two pieces need to be exactly the same size. So what I've done is I've cut it to 12 centimeters. If you want to see the actual measurements, I will put them all out on my blog. So 12 centimeters, and then this way I've actually gone with 9.7, I'm pretty sure. 9 point, yeah, somewhere between 9.7 9.8. Because what has to happen with it is they need to be able to sit inside this and pull up and down. So if it's too loose, then it's no good. But if it's too wide, then, you know, you can't actually pull it up and down. So that's why I've gone with like 2 millimeters shorter than the 9.9. There we go. So, as I say, they need to be exactly the same size. And what we can do is, I want to be able to, so when I make this card, the idea is that this piece will go behind there, this piece will go in front of there, and there will be a hole here. But I don't want people to be able to just pull the whole thing straight out, because otherwise half of the magic goes away when they get it, and then of course they then have to re-thread it back into the card, and that's a bit of a pain. So the way that I do this is I actually cut out a little section there, and I have little stoppers that come in here. So I'm going to show you how to create those when I find my scissors. There they are. Lovely. So to do this, I'm just going to take a little bit and cut it like that. And the same, does it need to be like that there? No, it doesn't. It just needs to be this middle piece. So aim for, ideally, about the same gap there as you get on this side. So this is just going to fold over like that. And this piece, I haven't quite cut it big enough, is also just going to fold in and out and shake it all about. Sorry, couldn't help it. So then that piece goes in like that. So you end up with these two little pieces. I'm just going to, no, that's not going to work. Okay. So a piece like that and a piece like that, because what we'll then do, as I say, is we'll cut out a little section there, and then when you pull it, it will actually stop at that point. So that has created that. We want to create the aperture or window or whatever you want to call it. I've decided I'm going to use a punch this time. So I've got my 2 3/8 circle punch, and I'm going to aim for the middle of between the two sides. Obviously I can't aim for the middle of the actual card because the punch isn't quite long enough to do that. So there it is. I don't know why this punch just seems to have a bit of a okay, anyway, I've got those. Now, the other thing I will tell you is that this comes in gold and silver, and it's just a case of flipping it over to decide which side you like. So I thought this time, seeing as I used gold on this one, we'll go with silver this time. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is we actually have to might cut these pieces next. So to do that, it's probably going to go down to about there. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a, where's my pencil gone to? Wow, I have, you know what it's like? You have like no pens, or you've got hundreds of pens and all you want is a pencil. So there's my pencil. So apparently at the moment I have masses of pens, which when I get inside I will have none. All right, so we're going to make a little mark on here because that's as far as we want it to pull up, and just the same on this side. So you can see then that it's just going to go to those 2 marks. I hope. Famous last words, as they say. All right, so to do this, I'm going to cut the top one first, or the, not top one, I'm going to cut the paper first, and I want it to, oh, hang on, just remembered. So it's also got to have a little section down the bottom here. I suppose it wouldn't matter if you did it. No, forget that. This is the way that I do it. So I know what I'm talking about. So when it pulls up, we will want it to pull up to maybe about there. So therefore, again, just do little thing over there, little thing over there, and we'll cut between those points. That'll make more sense to me. All right. So then you need to work out how much of a cut you gave in. So in this case, I've done about 0.5 centimetre. So we might go with 6 millimetres because then it's just slightly shorter than that. And I can't see what I'm doing. Excellent. You know what? I'm just going to do it like this. So there's that and that. And I'm hoping that if I put it in now and 6 millimetres, and you're probably going to end up with my head because I want to be able to see. So you can kind of see just there that that's where I want to cut it down to. And on this side, I want to cut it to there. So there we go. Oh. Okay, 6 millimetres again. This might be easier this time because I can see. And to there. And then just trim out those couple of pieces. So that's what you end up with. And I'm hoping that if I now put that into here, that when I pull it, there we go. When I pull it, it stops, which is exactly what I was after. So this one, it doesn't matter about actually. You can trim it if you want to, but in fact, thinking about it, it's not going to matter because it's not going to be behind that one. Gee, I think I might have to put slightly better instructions onto my blog. Okay, so now that I have complicated things by doing that, let's pop in. I want to have my image in. So let's see, where are we going to put the image? I know that it's going to come down to, I'm hoping you can see this. Sorry, I should probably move it onto here. I feel like I'm a lot less organised with this one than I normally am. Apologies for that. So let's just aim for that there. I am going to draw myself a circle because I want to know where I want to put. I'm planning on using the little truck. So here we go, little trucking along. This is one of the exclusive online exclusive even. Let's get it in the right order, shall we? So trucking along, it's got Christmassy stuff in it. It's got other things in it. I just thought the ute was so cute that I just had to have it. And I love the fact that it's a punch because I quite like punches. So let's just pop that away. So here we go. So I want my little truck. I've got to use the Stamparatus because I need it to end up in exactly the same place. So I'm going to pop my little truck into here, which will make sense in a minute when I do the next part. And probably be good if I actually used one of the magnets. Come on, little trucky, get in there. All right. So I'm using StazOn because I will need that for the next one. So there it is. And the next part is you pop this one onto here and you're going to ink it up with StazOn again. And stamp it down onto there. The idea is that you actually want these two images to be in exactly the same place. So you can see it there. And I am hoping that if I've stamped it right, they will be perfect. Yep, that's cool. Yep, lovely. Very happy with that. So let's just give this a quick clean off before I end up with StazOn all over my black mat, which probably wouldn't matter because you can't see it, but I'd know. All right. So I did want, you might be wondering why I'm putting the little ute onto the front here as well. That would be because I actually do want the ute on the front, so when it pulls up, although they're going to be together, I've now got this ute that I can colour in and make look pretty. So I'm also going to rub out my circle. And I suppose I'd better just check that it has actually worked in the thingo. So, yep, the ute looks good in there. That's excellent. And yeah, quite happy with that. All right, so that now stays as it is. We don't need to add anything extra to that, but we do need to add stuff to the bottom one. So it'll be a case of now colouring it up and giving yourself a proper picture in there. So when you pull it out, the two combined together will give you a good looking picture altogether. But at the beginning, all you'll have is that. I know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to turn the video off for a little bit and I'm going to go ahead and colour this in and then come back. Righty-ho. So I'm back. I have now, as you can see, decorated up this back piece. So I've added, this is actually really cool. This is the first time I've actually played with this trucking along set. And I have discovered that the tree has like a little extra bit that you can add in, and then I've just coloured the The trunks, I wanted to call them stems for a minute there. That's probably not right. I mean, they're kind of small and they look like stems, but so I've coloured those with my watercolour pencils. I've coloured the Jeep in with the watercolour pencils, not Jeep, truck, ute. There we go. Let's get the right word for it. And then the little prezzies just stamped straight into the back. And again, there is a little stamp here that you can stamp it all and it'll fill it in for you. But I kind of like the idea of having different colours on it. So hence the fact I did that. But the flowers, look at the little flowers. So the flowers have little flowers to go inside them too. I just thought, wow, that's so cute. I get amused by little things like this. And look at this one. It's got little ones that go in there too. And the tree's the same. So I have gone ahead and stamped myself a little tree to go in the back of my ute. So I've then cut it out and stuck it into the back of my ute so that I can have that trucking along the front there. And then I thought I'd better show you how to put the rest of it together. So you will need some tear and tape is what I'm planning to use. So let's just go ahead. Ooh, I have no nail on my thumb at the moment. I mean, I do have a nail. It's just that the nail's not grown up enough yet. So it makes it very difficult to tear and tape the tear and tape. Oh dear. You've got to have a bit of fun with these things, haven't you? All right. So then what you want to do is you want that ute to be exactly on top of the other one. So hence the fact I've started to tear off the backing on the tear and tape, but not all the way. So there we go. That is now, yep, quite happy with that. Lovely. All right, so let's get rid of that, pop it in the bin. Then, so this back piece, you need that to sit in behind those little folded out bits. And the front bit, I know there's some showing, but you know what, it kind of gives them a taste of things to come, and they can go, why is there something showing there? And then they'll pull it up and go, oh wow, look at that, hopefully. Anyway, I thought then I need to cover over some of this top part, and I decided I'm going to use my herringbone ribbon to do so, because I can also stamp on this. So I thought I would show you that too. And I've also cut some little pieces here to go down the sides, and I'm really debating whether I should have them that way or that way. And I'm kind of thinking it's turning into a Christmas card. I might go that way. Then they'll look like little candy canes. And of course, I folded them all the wrong way. So go me. Let's just turn those around. There we go. So the reason I do this is because that way I don't have to try and put glue in there, which might end up hindering the pulling motion of this. So what I'm going to do is add those onto there like that. And let's go ahead and do that. So where's my glue? Here it is. My glue mat, as I call it. Oops. And some glue, because, you know, it's kind of handy if you have both. And so I've cut them all to the same length, which is the length of the card, so 10.5 centimetres. And now we're just going to go ahead. Oh, gonna take a little bit off the top there, because I've just realised that otherwise it's going to end up sticking in there. And the front one is fine, but the back one's not. Oh God, well done, Heather. Too much glue. Okay, let's just rub that glue off me. And pop that down onto there. So it should fit exactly. Know what they say, famous last words. No, it's working. That's good. Lovely. So one down. 2 more to go. And I've just done it again, haven't I? Which one's going to be the back? Okay, that one there. Oh, I don't need to do that with this one because it doesn't have the... oh, I was looking at it thinking it's got the little cutaway bit, but this one doesn't have the cutaway bit. So we don't need to worry about that. And this one's really only decorative. It doesn't actually need to be on there. But I just thought, well, I don't really like it when I have a card that's not symmetrical. When it's something like this. And I'm really sticky now, so this is excellent. All right, so that's that. And then we've just got one for the bottom, which the bottom one will actually need to be cut because obviously the width of the card isn't quite as much as the length of the card. But we can just go ahead and, oh, goodness me, persuade that to sit like that. Like that. There we go. And I'm still very, very sticky. Yuck. So just hold that corner down for a moment. I kind of like that actually. I think that does look quite Christmassy now. And then just a case of trimming off these little extra bits, which apparently have now disappeared somewhere into the, ooh, great unknown. There's one of them I got. The other one disappeared in that direction, and I'm not too sure exactly where it went. So that is now my sliding in and out. And then I want to decorate up the front of it. So I've got my little ute that I plan to put onto here. So let's add some of these. Looking for my take your pick tool, which apparently has disappeared. So yay. Never mind. I still have a nail on this thumb. Put that into the bin. Pop it there. Okay, so I do want to be able to stamp onto my ribbon, and I plan to stamp onto it wishing you a festive Christmas, which is the saying that is obviously in here, wishing you a festive Christmas. So need to give this a bit of a trim. So I'm not sure if you do this with your ribbons, but some of the ribbons like to fray, and I just prefer them not to fray on my projects. So literally that's all you need to do is just gently run a flame over the end of it, and it will sear the ribbon, and then that way you won't end up with the ribbon fraying all over your project. So we did this in class the other day, and I think it's the first time that I'd actually done it with the girls in class. And I do think it threw a few people out, but it's a good thing to learn how to do. And I am going to just do the same thing again with this. I may need to, oh, yeah, good. So, actually hadn't figured this part out yet, but I'm thinking that it would be kind of nice if it had a little tie in it as well. And on the other hand, it might look better if the tie is just on the top. And okay, let's just stamp on the ribbon, shall we? What do I do with my StazOn? So again, I'm using StazOn for the ribbon because this way it doesn't seem to bleed so much, if that makes sense. Stamp that down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there it is. Love this ribbon for stamping on. I think it's amazing that you can actually stamp on a ribbon. So cool. So I would like to put that to one side slightly. So I'm gonna just maybe, oops. You know what, now that I've done that, I'm just going to take off the end of that part too. And same on there. Okay, wishing you a festive Christmas. I'm going to have to use some of my tear and tape again because otherwise it's not going to fit. I have done it slightly longer because I want to be able to tuck it around the other side. Oh, look at that. That was very well planned. I'm impressed with myself. Let's just do this. And I would like that to go to one side. In fact, you know, I'm going to have to put a second layer of this on. So let's see whether I can do the same thing again. Quite so impressively that it actually goes all the way around. Not bad, not quite as good as the first time. Oops. And hence the fact I am doing this on my my mat. Oh, come on, Heather. There. Right. So let's just stick that onto there. Pop that down. And this one. Now, obviously, there is a bit of a gap here, so I'm just going to add a wee bit more of my tear and tape onto the back of my ribbon. And clearly I did way too much for my ribbon, but that's okay. Because, so you pop it onto the ribbon and then you can kind of almost tear the ribbon away from it, or peel the ribbon away from it more so, and then just tuck that piece down on top of your ribbon and aim for it to seal up so it doesn't look like there's too bad. There we go. And oh, look at this, we're down to the last part of the ribbon. Okay, there we go. And then I thought it would look nice just with a little knot, maybe just like that. That would be good. Just gonna persuade that around, trim it down on both sides, and let's just go ahead, add those. We'll go that way with it. And again, I'm actually just going to use my tear and tape on the back of this as well. And I've deliberately gone with a little piece that's a little bit longer, so I can sort of persuade the ribbon to sort of sit in the way that I want it to sit, if that makes sense. There we go. Yay, I'm quite happy with this actually. So let's just move everything away so you can actually just have focal point. And that now pulls up to look like that, wishing you a festive Christmas. I'm really chuffed with that. So hop on over to my blog, and if, well, that's if you want the measurements, because I will put the measurements up on there. And yeah, come and join me next week. So thanks for joining me. Bye.